Hi, welcome to video 10.4b part 2, polar equations of lines and circles.
Okay, now these are special polar graphs, equations you need to recognize and know which graph they will produce without putting them in rectangular form. So we talked about r equals a constant. That's going to be a circle, center at the pole, radius, absolute value of c, obviously, because you can't have a radius of -4. Okay, so whether it's r equals 3 or -3, you'll get that. Theta equals a constant. Remember, we just saw that one. We did theta equals 5 pi over 6. That's a line through the pole that makes an angle of c radians with the horizontal axis, which is the positive side of the polar axis. So just as an example, theta equals pi over 6 is a line through the pole, and it makes an angle of pi over 6 with the positive horizontal axis. Remember these relationships. R equals 3 secant theta, just to prove to you what it is. Divide by secant. 1 over secant is cosine. R cosine theta is x. So this is actually a vertical line. So R equals a secant theta is a vertical line through the point A0. So notice this one goes through the point 3, 0. Whereas R equals 3 cosecant theta is going to give you a horizontal line. If I divide both sides by cosecant, 1 over cosecant is sine, r sine theta is y. So that's going to give you a horizontal line. So R equals b times cosecant theta is a horizontal line, and it's going to go through the point b comma pi over 2. So this one goes through the point 3 comma pi over 2. Circles. Now r equals 5 cosine theta, again just to prove it to you, and if you go through the whole procedure, multiply both sides by r, change it into rectangular, complete the square, blah 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 blah, okay, you find out that you get a circle whose center is at 5/2, 0, and whose radius is 5/2. So what happens is, it'll be a lot easier here to simply recognize that r equals, for example, a cosine theta will be a circle. The fact that it's cosine, and this is going to be important from this point forward, because if you remember from algebra 2, the cosine of negative theta equals the cosine of theta, what that's going to mean is that our graph is going to be symmetric with respect to the polar, which is the horizontal axis. The center, the radius will be half of this constant, and the center will be half of this constant, comma 0.